So thank you for coming on. If you could just introduce yourself, I think that would be great.
Sure. So I'm Jamie O'Connor. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing at Brookdale, West Hartford in West Hartford, Connecticut.
Yep. And there are a couple Brookdales in the area, correct? There's one in Farmington that is the Gables. And then
Yes.
there's one by the mall.
Correct. So there's a Brookdale another located in West Hartford by the mall, which is Brookdale Chatfield. And then we also have a Brookdale located in Farmington, which is Brookdale Gables.
So, so tell us a little bit about what Brookdale is as a community.
Sure. So we're the largest senior living company in the United States. We have over 800 communities nationwide, and we've been in business for about 40 years now. Our particular community is amazing. It's very small, very quaint, very homey. We have 75 apartments. We are located on Simsbury Road, right across the street from Gillette Ridge Golf Course. So it's amazing natural setting around us. We have this amazing walking path that goes around the building, lots of great activities, very vibrant population and staff. We're very proud of our community.
So can you talk a little bit about what an assisted community is? Because there's really three factors in all three of those communities, correct? Independent, assistant, and then the memory care unit. Can you just explain each one of those venues to everyone?
Sure. So our particular community has assisted living and memory care. So we don't have independent living on site. But for assisted living, it's really giving you the independence and option of living as independently as possible with just that extra assistance that you may need. So it, includes care, it includes activities, it includes all the meals. So you get this beautiful lifestyle that is presented to you and engage and enjoy. And then in return, we offer you care, assistance, all sorts of different items and amenities that we offer within the assisted living community. On our third floor is our Clarebridge neighborhood. It's our memory care. It is a beautiful, vibrant, active community. It's located, as I mentioned, on the floor. We have a beautiful outdoor patio that's outside. A lot of great activities happen up there. We do a lot of baking, a lot of growing, gardening, cooking. So really great, vibrant activities program. The community itself, is based towards, residents that have memory impairment, Alzheimer's, dementia, so that it really is tailored to those specific items so that we can ensure that we give the best quality of life.
So when you talk about assistance, what kind of assistance would you be looking at for someone who is elderly that comes into your community?
Absolutely. So, the most typical types of care are med management, anything that has to do with, showering and dressing, bathing, any kind of grooming activity. We do bathroom assistance. We do help with, nebulizers, different care levels that you might have, insulin, things of that nature that are, very specific to medical care. So we are able to accomplish all of that on site successfully, and it allows everyone to stay in their own apartment, live as independently as possible with that extra assistance that they may need.
So when you have someone who comes into this community, are they able to keep their own physicians that they might have already?
Yes, so they have an option of keeping their own primary care physician. We also have a service that we use in our community called Prime Healthcare. So there are on-site doctors and nurses that we utilize. So you have the option when you come into the community of keeping your current PCP or doctors or using our own in-house services.
So what tends to be the mean age group that will choose to come into a community like yours?
So it really runs the gamut. We have a very large population of residents that are really all along the age range. So you have, early 60s, late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. We have a couple residents that are in their hundreds. So you really have this very broad group of residents that is very diverse, so that there's always someone that, you have something in common with. You can share activities, all of those things. So it's actually, it runs the gamut of age, but it's a beautiful, vibrant community.
And when someone does make that decision to choose to come to your community, do you tend to have people who are widows or widowers or couples as a whole? What tends to be the group that will choose to come into your community the most?
Sure. So it is both. We do have couples and we do have, single people. The majority of our residents are either widows, widowers, might be single in general. So those types of residents are the most common that we have here. We do have a couple couples. That sounds funny, but we do. So that's wonderful as well. But, you have people that are mostly independent of partners as well.
And how do you support them, their religious beliefs?
So we have some great religious activities that we utilize. So we are very faith-based in regards to being promoting wellness and health. So if someone's interests are their religion, their faith, we absolutely take an active role in that. We do have access to different services that we would be able to take you to. Now that things are opening up again, we'll be able to go out and about the community a lot more, which will be great. So we'll be doing that. We have people that come on site, priests for communion and services. So it really depends on what type of activity you're looking for, what type of faith you are. And then we can match you with either a specific synagogue or religious institution. And then otherwise, we have a Catholic priest that comes on site.
So as we're talking about opening up again, maybe we can talk a little bit about COVID and how it really has affected everyone. In particular communities. And I know that vaccines have now been available. And how has your community managed to support the people, the staff, and your residents in getting vaccinated?
Sure. So we actually hosted 2 clinics on site. So we actually had CVS Pharmacy come in and do the clinics at our community. So 100% of our residents have been vaccinated and the majority of our staff has been as well. It was optional in regards to receiving the vaccination, but 100% of the residents did, as well as, a vast majority of our staff did as well. We are looking at holding another clinic in the coming months to do anyone that hasn't been vaccinated yet that might be looking for that chance now. So we've done really well and been very proactive in regards to getting the vaccine in front of our residents, having the option of taking it and getting them as safe as possible, as soon as possible.
So as we talk about opening up a little bit, what are some of the things that you're looking to have to help support your residents to feel comfortable coming out into the community more with activities that you might be providing, especially now with the weather getting nice?
Sure. So we've taken our first step. We're actually allowing vendors to come into the community now. So we'll work to see musicians, art therapy, paint, sorts of different vendors that will come in and start being able to visit the community again, which will provide a whole new level of activities for our residents. We also we have that coming. We also are doing a lot of activities outside right now because the weather's been so nice. So it gets everybody out and about, keeps them and keeps everyone getting that beautiful fresh air. In weeks, we're hoping to have our ability to go out on trips change a little bit so that we can go back into the community and go out to restaurants and the mall and different shops and things that our residents love to do. We've done an excellent job, in my opinion, keeping everyone safe and keeping everyone happy during this really, unfortunate time period that we've been in. So we've done a really great job of engaging our residents one-on-one. We've done a really great job of keeping them entertained, them active, they're happy. So I think, in particular, our community has done an exceptional job, managing our way through COVID and really keeping our residents, as upbeat and happy as possible.
So if someone was interested in finding out more information about Brookdale, how would they be able to contact you?
Sure. So they can contact me directly. My phone number is 860-491-8255. 8972. And I'm also available on the Brookdale website.
That's excellent. And can you talk a little bit about the differences between the three communities? Because I know that they're all in different areas and kind of have different atmospheres around them. So if you can talk a little bit about the Gables and a little bit about the other one, and then a little bit about you in your community. And what's the differences between the three of them, do you think?
Sure. So our product lines are a little different. So the Gables is independent living and assisted living. Chatfield is independent, assisted, and memory care. And then we're assisted living and memory care. So the product offerings are a little different at each of the communities. And then their settings are extremely different. So the Gables and our community are set back, and sure, they have this beautiful access, to outside. They have an amazing pond. We have this beautiful walking trail that goes around the building. So both of our communities are really engrossed in a natural setting, which has been, lovely, especially for residents that love nature, that want to be across the street from the golf course, that love that view. So we've actually, in regards to location, we have a prime location in West Hartford. The Gables does as well in Farmington. They have a great location. They're also quite large. They have the independent and assisted living product lines, and they also have a lot of great activities, programs, all sorts of different things that they offer as well. So Brookdale as a corporation has some amazing standards and strategies that we work and live by. And so that runs across all of our product lines. Chatfield itself is, kind of set in a little bit of a busier location. It's right by the mall. It's set up around restaurants, different shopping, so different types of activities that people might be more interested in if they want to be in a more active, engaged area of town. We're a little bit smaller, a little quieter, so we kind of play on our strengths, which is really just our surroundings, the natural feel that we have, and the ability for our residents to really engage in the outdoors.
And for me, I think one of the benefits and the glory of the assisted livings, having referred our clients to them, along with eating lunches there, is the food. And I think that you have award-winning dining in your communities. And if you can talk a little bit about that, because mealtime is a very important time for people. And I think the older we get, the more important it becomes, not only socializing, but nutrition-wise. So if you can speak a little bit about your award-winning dining.
Absolutely. So Brookdale has a beautiful dining program. We actually follow all sorts of, needed nutrition restrictions, all sorts of salt, sodium, all sorts of different items that would, really help with flavor and taste. We have this amazing program called It's All About You Dining, which is tailored to the residents' tastes specifically. So it could be a special meal that they love. It could be their favorite food. It could be anything that really makes them happy and engages them, with food. So we do provide that type of program here. It's a signature program. We'll find out what they love, put it on the menu for them, make sure that they feel welcome and engaged and home-like. So we also have an amazing executive chef here. He graduated culinary school in Georgia. He's been with us for about 5 years, does an amazing job. He sits down with the resident menu chats. He makes the menus with the residents in mind, really toward the menus towards their specific needs and wants, and what really makes them truly happy. So I love our dining program. We do serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and all snacks. So you really have this amazing ability to eat, a varied menu each day. The menu changes daily, and he really does work very hard to come up with some very nutritious, but very fun food.
And are there dining times that people have to abide by, or can they eat when they want to eat?
Currently, we do have dining times only because we do have the ability to have our dining room open, but it's one person per table due to the COVID restrictions. Yeah. So we are serving meals at 7:30 and 8 for breakfast, 11:30 and 12 for lunch, and then 4:30 and 5 for dinner, and then we have snacks available 24 hours a day.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Jamie, this has been a great interview, and I appreciate you coming on. We're definitely a fan of Brookdale, and we're happy to support you guys and your residents. And I believe that what you have is an amazing community for people who are transitioning in life into another stage where maybe living in their own home isn't as cost effective as it used to be, or it's just too large for them to maintain. And
Sure.
the other thing is that I'm aware that assisted living is also supported by long-term care insurance. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So if residents do have long-term care insurance, it's a great program. They actually contribute quite a lot to senior living costs. We would just run the policy for you when you arrived at all the details for you, and then we help you submit all of the paperwork to long-term care each month. So there's very few steps that you would need to make, the residents need to make. We actually do most of it for them. The long-term care does provide monthly income for senior living, which is amazing, and it really does help the cost become even more affordable when you do have that assistance from long-term care.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much again for your time, and
Thank you.
best of luck with to you. If you could just give your phone number one more time so people have
Sure.
an interest in finding out more just about assisted living and independent living in general, they can contact you.
Absolutely. It's 860-491-8972.
That's great. You have a great day now, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, dear.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye-bye.